I'm Cath and welcome to my channel Made by Cath Craft. Thank you so much for joining me today. So in today's vlog I'm going to be talking about what I've been wearing this last week. It is week 2 of my handmade wardrobe, which I've been bringing to you as part of Me Made May. So if you watched my vlog last week where I shared you week 1 of my handmade wardrobe, you'll know that I'm taking part in Me Made May on Instagram. And it's a sort of challenge, it's quite a gentle, relaxed challenge set up by Zoe of Sozo blog, and I'll link her down below. But it's to invite any sewists who are on Instagram to make a pledge for the month of May, which is something to do with their handmade wardrobe. And you can make a pledge about anything. It can be to finish one piece of whip you've had that you really just want to get done. It can be to have a little sort through your wardrobe and figure out what you're not wearing and why, and whether you can make them, adjust them so they're better and you want to wear them more often. And for me, like many I think sewists on Instagram, I chose to wear one piece of handmade item every day in May, but I upped the ante a little bit by saying every week I would wear a different pattern company for each day of the week. And it's now day 14 in May. It's a very rainy, gloomy day here actually. But I'm really feeling happy today because I've been having a look back and I've actually managed for the last 14 days to wear a different pattern company for every day for the 14 days. So I didn't know I had that many pattern companies I'd used and made, so it's been quite interesting to have a look actually. And it's really got me reaching for a few of my older garments, so I've been really enjoying getting those out and figuring what I should wear together. So I'm really looking forward to sharing with you week 2 of my handmade wardrobe as part of Me Made May. So let's go! So I usually start my vlogs talking about what I'm wearing today, but this is day 7 of my second week of my handmade wardrobe, so I'll talk about this one at the end of the vlog. And I'll start instead with what I wore on day 8 of Me Made May, which was last Saturday. And it's been a bit of a dismal May here generally. The weather hasn't been great so far this month. But last Saturday was a particularly rainy, cold day, and my son had got a cold. He usually goes swimming on Saturday morning, and he's usually really enthusiastic about most things generally. So I knew he felt pretty rotten when he said he didn't want to go swimming. So we spent the day at home, so I wanted something cosy and comfy. And so I decided to choose this sweatshirt here, which is the Linden sweatshirt by Grainline Studio. And it's a really nice relaxed sweatshirt with raglan sleeves, a crew neck. It's just quite a relaxed fit, and you can make sort of a sweatshirt with the bottom band and cuffs, or you can make a t-shirt version that's a bit more cropped, so you can mix and match bits of each one. And it's quite a straightforward make. It comes together quite quickly with the raglan sleeves. And it's one I made a couple of times when I was quite new to sewing, but I haven't made for a long time. I think I've discovered a couple of other sweatshirt patterns that I possibly slightly prefer. And one thing it's not my favourite sweatshirt is because it's got a fairly wide neckline, so I have to be careful which t-shirts I wear underneath so they don't kind of poke out too much. But it is a really great pattern and a really kind of relaxed one for hanging around the home. And so that's what I chose to wear. And this is my version here. I've made a couple of versions, but I think this might be my favourite version because I love this print. And it is a fleece back sweatshirt fabric with all these cute little cats all over it. So it's kind of like a dark kind of purpley blue colour as a background. And yeah, lots of different cats in cute are quite pretty colours, I think they are. So yeah, that's my version here. And I'll put up a picture of me wearing it. I just wore it with a pair of ready-to-wear jeans. And it was just a really nice, relaxed outfit for hanging around the home. So yeah, Grainline Studio, I like their instructions. They're really nice and straightforward and clear. And this is a beginner pattern, and I made it in the size 0, which is for a bust 32, waist 25, hips 35. And I'm bust 32, waist 26, hips 36, so slightly larger on the waist and hips. But I found this came up quite big on me anyway, so I actually took it in slightly at the waist just to give it a bit of a more fitted look. I kind of preferred that look on me with this sweatshirt. Oh, and in terms of adjustments, I also lengthened the body and also the arms each by 1 inch, just to make it that little bit cosier and a little bit longer for me because I've got quite long arms. And one other thing I wanted to mention about this pattern is it doesn't come in the biggest size range. It goes from US size 0 to US size 18, and the size 18 is bust 44 inches, waist 37 inches, hips 47 inches. I had to look on the, Grainline's website, and they do have some of their patterns offered in an extended size range, up to size 30 I think, but unfortunately the Linden isn't one of those, at least yet. But that's what I wore on day 1 of week 2 of my handmade wardrobe for Me Made May. Yeah, a snuggly sweatshirt for chilling at home. So after spending the day at home, on the Saturday, I thought we were going to be going out and about a bit more on the Sunday. So I thought I'd dress up a little bit. I thought, why not? The weather might be poor, but that's not going to stop me wearing a nice dress. So I decided on a dress for Sunday this week. And I decided to wear this dress here, which is the Myosotis dress by Deer & Doe. And it's a really lovely pattern. You probably have come across it before. It's been quite popular. It's kind of an oversized shirt dress, and it's got some lovely features. It's got this little band collar, a button-down bodice. It's got darts to give some shaping, and then you can make it with a ruffle on the skirt and on the sleeves, or you can just do one of the ruffles. But yeah, you can mix and match those bits. But yeah, it's a really lovely, pretty pattern, and one I really enjoyed making. I've made a couple of versions of this. And I wore my first version of this on Sunday, which is this one here. And I made it in this navy double gauze fabric with, I think they're dandelions on, that's what I think they are. And with these little white buttons to kind of pop, which I really like. So yeah, this is my first version I made of the Myosotis, and I really enjoyed sewing it. I made a couple of adjustments to this pattern. I lengthened the bodice by 1 inch. And I also added waist ties because I prefer the look a bit pulled in because it is quite oversized. And then as you can see, I made the short sleeved version, but I did add the ruffle on the skirt. And I find that double gauze gathers really nicely because it's kind of naturally sort of wrinkly anyway, so I really enjoy gathering with double gauze because there's quite a lot of gathering here with a gathered waist here and then the ruffle at the bottom. But yeah, that's my version. I'll put up a picture of me wearing it. And because it was another cold day on Sunday, I decided to layer it up with a black top underneath and then a pair of tights. And I think that's the great thing about Me Made May. I hadn't really thought about layering the Myosotis before, but I wanted to choose a different pattern company I hadn't worn so far in May and hadn't worn Deer & Doe so far. And I thought, well, yeah, that could work really well because double gauze is nice and cosy when you wear it in the winter, but then it's breathable in the summer. So it is one of those fabrics you should be able to wear all year round. So I quite like the look of it with the top underneath, and I think I definitely layer it again. So thank you, Me Made May, for getting me to think a bit outside of the box with what I'm wearing. So for the Myosotis, I made the size 34, which is actually designed for bust 31.5, waist 23.5, and hips 33 3/4, so quite a lot smaller than me. But the finished garment measurements are much bigger. So for size 34, the finished garment measurements are bust 36 5/8 inches, waist 29.5 inches, and hips 63 inches because the skirt's so gathered. So I knew that there'll be plenty of room, and I didn't want it really, really oversized on me, particularly with the double gauze. I think I might have felt a bit bulky. So that worked fine for me. And unfortunately, the Deer & Doe pattern here doesn't go up to the largest size range either, a bit like the grain line Linden. The paper pattern goes up to size European size 46, which is bust 41, waist 33, hips 43.25. And there are 3 more sizes available in PDF on Deer & Doe's website, but it still doesn't take it up to the largest size range ever. But I do believe they're currently working on an extended size range for their patterns. So hopefully that'll be coming soon, because they are beautiful patterns, so it's nice if they can be available for everybody. But this is the Myosotis by Deer & Doe. Yeah, I really enjoyed wearing my version, and I was glad to get it out of the wardrobe, even though it's not summery enough weather to wear it without a top underneath. Oh, and I should have mentioned the double gauze fabric came from Lamazi Fabrics, but I bought it quite a while ago. It's been a while since I made my Myosotis, but I'll include a link to Lamazi down below and all the other fabric shops that I bought the fabric from. But yeah, as I said, some of the garments are quite old now, so the fabrics might not be available, but it's always nice to have a browse for a fabric shop anyway, I figure. So I'll include the links as much as I can down below. So for day 3 of my second week of Me Made May, I decided to pick another different pattern company again that I hadn't worn in May, and I decided to go for one of my favourite dresses, and one of my favourite woven dress patterns this is, and it's this pattern here, the Cassiopei or Cassiopei pattern by I Am Patterns. I never know how to say this one. But yeah, I just absolutely love this dress. It's a really quick sew for a woven dress because it's got raglan sleeves. And it's got a batwing feature here on the arms, and then a gathered skirt. But yeah, it's a really surprisingly quick sew for a woven dress because it just kind of, and it pulls over your head, there are no fastenings. So yeah, it's quite straightforward. And yeah, it's just really comfy, relaxed to wear. And it's kind of an oversized smock dress look. And it's one actually, when I first saw it, I thought that's really not for me, it wasn't my style, but I just really feel very comfy and relaxed wearing it. I love how it looks with a pair of trainers, and yeah, I reach for them a lot, my Cassiopei dresses. So I'll show you the version I wore on day 3 of this week, and it's this one here. It's made in this kind of cool geometric black and white and grey coloured viscose twill. So you can see the kind of this geometric design on it, and it's kind of a twill, so it's a little bit thicker and more substantial than a viscose lawn, a lightweight viscose, which makes it quite nice for this time of year when it's still a bit chilly, because it keeps it a little bit more cosy. And so you can see here the kind of bat wing kind of curves around there. And yeah, I made it. I'll put a picture of me wearing it so you can see what it looks like on. I just wore it with a pair of tights and then popped trainers on when I went out for the school run. And I made this in the size 34, I think, is that right? Oh, sorry, the smallest size, which is size 36, which is for a bust 32¼ inches, waist 24½ inches, and hips 34�5/8 inches. And before I made my first version of this, I had read quite a lot of people online saying they'd size down slightly because it does come out so oversized, so I thought I'd go for the smallest size. And I made no adjustments to this pattern actually, just kept it as it was. Oh, I might have actually added an inch to the length of the arms on a later version, I think, but I don't think I even added any length of the arms for this version, so it's slightly a bracelet sleeve on me, but I quite like that actually. So yeah, as I said, I'll put up a picture of me wearing it. It's just a really relaxed, comfy dress. It comes together really quickly. This fabric is a viscose twill which I got from Minerva, and they gifted me this fabric in exchange for a post. So I'll put a link down to my post if I think I can find it on their website in case you fancy having a little read in more detail. But it was really nice to work with, and I had a look and there's still a little bit of this fabric left on the website, so I'll include a link directly to the fabric in case you're interested in it. But it's a really nice quality viscose twill, and it was really nice to work with. It wasn't slippery, it was fairly stable for a viscose, so I really enjoyed working with that. So yeah, that's the Cassiopei dress by I Am Patterns. It's a real wardrobe staple for me, this one. I really love it. What else to mention about it? Oh yeah, there's lots. I had a look on the website actually, and there are loads of really cool pattern hacks that I Am have available to download for free. So the pattern hacks include, you can make a jersey version with I think with a ribbing neckband, which I thought was really cool because I think it would look really nice in jersey fabric. There's a hack to make it short sleeved and for a button down back, and also for kind of a geometric panel in the back. And I think they give the example of using kind of a slightly mesh or see-through fabric at the back to add a feature. So I thought that's really cool. They've added on so many different options for playing around with this pattern because it's quite a straightforward dress. So I think you can have a lot of fun playing around with it. I really like the idea of a short sleeve version for summer, so I might look into that myself. And because it's quite a simple dress, I think you can have fun with the fabric. You could go for quite a pretty fabric and it would look really nice and really showcase it. So that's the Cassiopei dress by I Am Patterns. I always really enjoy wearing that one, and that was day 3 of this week. So for day 4 of this week, I decided to go for one of my newer makes this time. It was another sort of fairly dull day, but a little bit warmer, so I thought I'd wear a t-shirt, and I wore this t-shirt here. And this is the Solar Tee by Paper Cut Patterns, and it's in this really lovely cotton pointel jersey with the mustard colour, and you can see the pointel there, which I got from Fabric Godmother fairly recently, and I think they've still got some of this fabric in stock, so I'll include a link down below. They have it in a few different colours, a really lovely cream colour too, and a couple of other colourways. So yeah, I decided to make the Solar Tee by Paper Cut, and it's this pattern here. And it was recently been renamed from the Kyoto tee and sweater to the Solar Tee. But here's the line drawing, so you can see it's quite a boxy fit t-shirt and sweater, and it's got this lovely little frill on the sleeve with a slightly dropped shoulder. But I decided, because this fabric was quite busy and bold in itself, I decided to omit the ruffle and just to make a sort of standard kind of relaxed t-shirt. So I'll put a picture up of me wearing it. It's just really comfy to wear. I wanted something slightly oversized for this fabric because I wasn't sure with pointel how good the recovery was, so I didn't want to make something too fitted in case it went baggy quite quickly. It was really nice to sew with though actually, and I really enjoyed wearing this one. I got a couple of compliments on the school run on the fabric, because it is really nice fabric, isn't it? So that's what I wore. I made the smallest size in this pattern, which is a size extra small. It's designed to be quite oversized, so I think you could size down quite easily and it'd still be quite nice and roomy. But it's a lovely pattern, and the pointel jersey is quite snuggly compared to your standard cotton jersey, I find. So it's quite a nice one to wear on a day where there was still a bit of a chill in the air. But that was what I wore on day 4 this week, the Solar Tee by Paper Cut Patterns. So for day 5 this week, I think it was the warmest weather day we've had this week. There was actually a bit of sunshine, which was lovely. And so I thought I'd get something out that made me feel a little bit more summery. And this is something I don't wear very often, and again I think Me Made May makes me choose different types of garments in my wardrobe, and it was a shirt, because I don't often go for a shirt. and it was a shirt that I made using this pattern here, the Calais shirt and shirt dress by Closet Core patterns. And it's a really lovely pattern. I made 2 versions last year, and then I also made a hacked dress version. And I'll include a link to the, I made a vlog all about how I hacked it to make a dress with a gathered skirt. So I'll include a link to that in case you fancy checking that one out. But yeah, the version I wore this week was the cropped version. And what I love about the Closet Core Calais shirts, there's so many different options available. So you can really pick and choose and make just the perfect shirt for you. But generally it's quite an oversized shirt. You can make a cropped length or kind of a tunic length or a sort of shirt dress length. And there are different collars available, like a full collar or a little band collar, and then different plackets, a kind of covered placket, a sort of pullover placket, popover placket, or a sort of standard placket, and different pleats as well at the back. And so I'll show you my version. And I made it as the crop version, which is always quite hard to show on camera, and it's a little bit wrinkly, apologies. And I made it in this lovely embroidered cotton, so you can see that it's got little sort of daisies embroidered all over it, which I think are really pretty. So I made the band collar version because I thought they'd be nice and relaxed for a kind of cropped fit one. And I made the inverted pleat at the back, which you can see there. Again, the light kind of doesn't pick up well. And I thought I'd give the covered placket a go, so you can see a hidden placket there, and the buttons are kind of hiding underneath there. And it was quite nice actually, because these buttons are slightly more creamy, whereas the fabric's white. But because the buttons are hidden, I thought I could use these buttons for my stash, and so it felt quite thrifty rather than buying new buttons because you don't really see them. And then I added the pocket. And one of my favourite features of this blouse is the hem, which is kind of like, actually it's really hard to show, but it's got a facing underneath it that you can see there, and it kind of shows through because the fabric is quite lightweight and a bit sheer, and I really like how you can see that kind of feature. But I put a picture up of me wearing it so you can see it better, and I wore it with a pair of jeans, and I actually lengthened the Calais cropped version. I think I lengthened it by 1.5 inches, and that just sits really well on me, just around my jeans line. I think if it was any shorter, it would show my tummy off. I'm not sure I'd feel comfortable with that, so I'm glad I lengthened it that little bit. And I'll also show a picture of the little hem detail, because I really love that detail, so I took a picture of that too and popped that on my Instagram stories as well, because I thought it was a pretty detail. So I made the size 0 for the Calais cropped shirt, and that is, the measurements for that are a bit smaller than my measurements. It's bust 31 inches, waist 24 inches, hips 33 inches, but it is very oversized, the Calais, and I didn't want it, again, too super oversized, so I sized down, and I quite like the fit on me. And the PAFE pattern goes up to size 20 US sizes, but there is a PDF version available up to size 30 on the Closet Core website, so that's really great that it's a really inclusive pattern. And there's lots of great tutorials on Closet Core's website. Closet Core I find are really good for their online tutorials. I remember that when I was making the ginger jeans too. They really break down the process of making their patterns into lots of smaller steps, and then write a tutorial on the individual steps. So for the different plackets, there are tutorials for the and for the collar and all sorts. So if you're interested in this pattern, it's definitely worth checking that out, because there's loads of great resources on their website for the Closet Core Calais shirt and shirt dress. I really actually enjoyed wearing this shirt, and the embroidered cotton is quite snuggly and soft, so it was really comfy to wear it. It didn't feel like a crisp kind of shirting type cotton, so I'll definitely be reaching for it more, I think. And I love how Made does encourage you to kind of find different things in your wardrobe that you really like but somehow not wearing, and actually make me think, yeah, I should wear this more often. And I really love that crop Calais. So that was day 5. I really enjoyed wearing that one, the Calais shirt by Closet Core Patterns. So I enjoyed wearing a shirt so much with my Calais shirt, I thought I'd wear another shirt for day 6, using another pattern company I hadn't worn so far in May. And I wore the shirt, this one here, which is the blouse by the Avid Seamstress. And this is a lovely pattern. It's one I made a couple of times earlier in my sewing journey, and I haven't made since just because I made it a couple of times and didn't need too many more in my wardrobe. But I really love my versions and I really enjoy wearing them. And again, they're quite comfy and relaxed for a shirt. And I do have sort of memories in my mind of wearing shirts to work and then being much more stiff and uncomfortable. But I think if you choose the right fabric that's a bit softer and a nice pattern that's fairly relaxed, they can be really comfy. So this is the blouse. I'll show you the line joins. They're quite small here, quite simple. Ooh. Where they disappeared to? Oh, there they are. So it's quite a relaxed blouse, and it's quite a great entry-level blouse if you just want to sew your first blouse, because there aren't any darts. The cuffs are finished with elastic, so there aren't the full kind of cuff details here. It's just a simple band collar, so it's quite a straightforward one to come together. And also I think the Avid Seamstress, their instructions are really detailed, so if you want a bit of hand holding through the whole process, they're a great company to try. But I'll show you my version. And this is my third version. I think I made two versions. I've made one version in viscose, one version in a tarn lawn, and then I made this version in a chambray. So again, it's quite a nice soft fabric for a shirt. And this was made with a remnant left over from another make, and I had enough just to squeeze out this shirt. And I really like it actually. It's kind of quite a classic, simple, straightforward shirt, no print. So it goes with quite a lot of different things in my wardrobe, and I used some buttons and I had in my stash as well, these little brown buttons, which I quite like with it. So here it is. Quite a straightforward make, and the chambray does make it really nice and soft and comfy to wear. I made the size 0, which is a UK 6, which is for bust 32.5, waist 25 and hips 34.5. So my bust, but the waist and hips are slightly smaller, but it is designed to be oversized, so I find it fits me fine. It's not too tight around the hips when it skirts down to there. Oh, one thing is worth mentioning on this pattern is the pattern says you need 2 meters of fabric if you've got an 145 centimeter wide fabric, but I find this is easy enough for my size to squeeze out of 1.5 meters, so it doesn't take as much fabric as the pattern says, I find. So that's great too. But I wore this on day 6, and then I wore it with a skirt, and I'll put up a picture so you can see how it looked. So this is the skirt I wore, as you can see in the picture, and this is the estuary skirt by So Liberated. So I did wear another one of my estuary skirts last week, but I thought, well, I'm wearing a different pattern company with the blouse by the Avid Seamstress, so I can wear another estuary skirt. And this is quite different to the version I wore last week. This is made in a rayon fabric. It's really swishy. It's a shorter version again. It's got pockets, and it's got the button down placket at the front. It's a faux placket because you don't need to be able to undo the buttons because the back of the waistband is elasticated. But yeah, it's a really lovely rayon that I got from John Lewis quite a while ago in the sale. It was really good value. And what I love about this rayon actually is the back of the fabric is kind of, the print's almost as dark as on the front, which I think is lovely quality, that it's not white on the back. And I think it means if you did have some snags, they probably wouldn't show up quite as much as if you had white on the back. But actually, this was a lovely round to work with. I didn't get any snags or anything. And I really love this skirt, and I think it goes quite nicely with the blouse. So I really enjoyed wearing that combination. And I love how the estuary skirt can be worn in winter with a pair of tights, and also in summer with a vest top. So I think it's a really versatile skirt. I'll show you the pattern briefly in case you haven't seen my vlog from last week. Here it is. So yeah, it's just a really great skirt. You can add patch pockets, but I just made inseam pockets for the viscose. So I thought with this busy print you wouldn't really see the pockets, so I wanted some more functional side sort of seam pockets. So yeah, you can add patch pockets, and there's different lengths available. But it's a lovely button down skirt, and I really like the waistband being flat at the front and then gathered at the back, because it means it's not too bulky all the way around. And I think I made the smallest size in the estuary skirt, the size 0. Which is slightly smaller than my measurements, but I found with the elastic you can kind of adjust it for your measurements anyway, and I found the next size up came up a little bit roomy when I tried the elastic with that one. But it's a great size range. It goes up to size 30, which is, where's this actual size? Size 30, which is waist 48.5, hips 57. So yeah, it's a pattern that goes from size 0 to size 30. Yeah, a great little pattern, the estuary skirt, which I wore with the blouse by Avid Seamstress, and that was day 6. So that brings me on to today. And yeah, it's a rainy day and it's still not very warm. So I've gone for another fairly wintry dress, and this is actually one of the big 4 pattern companies. It is the McCall's M7561. It's a jersey dress pattern. I really like it. I've made a few versions of this one, and it's got loads of different variations, which I love. And I'll show you them all on the back here. And I made one quite recently in my makes video, so I'll put a link up in case you fancy checking that one out, a more summery version, but this is a more wintry one. But yeah, it's perfect for all seasons. It's kind of like a basic jersey dress pattern, which you can make with shorter sleeves, middle length sleeves, longer sleeves. It comes with a long skirt or a short skirt, and it's got this really cool dip back version, which I keep saying I really like, but I haven't actually made yet. So I went for the scoop neck at the front version and longer sleeves, and I'll put up a picture so you can see. It comes to just above my knees, and I made it in this lovely cotton jersey, which has got kind of sort of little ropes on it, so it makes me feel quite nautical. And this is an earlier make of mine, and I can't remember where I bought this fabric. It was before I was very familiar with many online fabric shops, so I think I might have got it through eBay from a fabric shop. Yeah, but it's lovely actually. I've worn it quite a lot and washed it quite a lot, and the colours haven't faded much at all, and it's not gone all tall bobbly either, or fluffy. So yeah, it's really nice and comfy to wear. I think I made the size small, which is designed for size UK 8 to 10, which is bust 31.5 to 32.5 inches, so pretty much bang on for me. Waist 24 to 25 inches and hips 33.5 to 34.5 inches. And the hips measurement I think isn't too critical because it's a gathered skirt, so it skirts over there and there's loads of room. Although the waist says 24 to 25 inches, which is smaller than me, when I made this I think I ended up taking it in a little bit on the sides because I found it came up a little bit roomy around the waist. So that was a bit funny, but yeah, I've got the pattern pieces now adjusted for me, so I can kind of just use those and make them. I think I might have lengthened the bodice on this slightly as well, but yeah, that was what I'm wearing today. It's really comfy and relaxed for hanging at the home, and yeah, that's my final make for this week. So that is what I've been wearing this week, the second week in May to May. I've now worn 14 different pattern companies, so I think for next week I will reset and start again trying to wear a different pattern company each day of the week, but not a new pattern company each day for May. But I really enjoyed the challenge and it's definitely got me pulling out some different things in my wardrobe, and I hope you've enjoyed seeing what I've worn and hear me talking a little bit about them. As I mentioned before in the vlog, I'll include links to fabrics wherever I can down below, or at least to the shops where I purchase the fabrics. So I'm hoping to carry on sharing my handmade wardrobe for the rest of May, so there should be another vlog next week, all being well, sharing next week's handmade wardrobe and what I'm wearing. I'm really hoping we will get some lovely sunny weather at some point in May so I can get some summer dresses out, but have to just keep fingers crossed for that. In the meantime it'll be yeah, layering up my winter clothes. I might be reaching for a cardigan a bit later if it gets any chillier here. So thank you so much for watching, I really appreciate it. If you did enjoy the vlog, I'd love it if you give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, I would love it if you would subscribe and share my handmade wardrobe journey and hear me talking all about fabrics and sewing patterns and all of that sort of thing that I love to chat about. And if you also do subscribe, make sure you press the bell icon so you're notified of my future vlogs. So thank you so much for joining me again. I hope you have a great day and I'll see you again soon. Thanks again. Bye.